Okay, guys, for a little fun here, I wanted to make a little artwork out of this. So my I left it pretty tall here instead of cutting it down again. So I left it pretty tall. I wanted to see what would happen if I uh, dadoed out or removed or just left some of the back wall of this. You'll see near at the end. But this is for people that might want to watch the SR13 if you consider purchasing it or even renting it. This is good because it's a larger stump, although it's not it wasn't that difficult. The You're looking at about 40 minutes of work here. The center of this, I will say that when this runs across some tight grain, where they're all symmetrical, if you will, or in a circle, that grain is some of the toughest grain. So you're going to have to attack that the best way you can. You'll know that when you just start getting you don't get chips anymore. Um, Again, I would say about this machine is that the left side where the belt runs, that will be a restrictive depth. And sometimes you'll forget that you might be riding on that and you're not going anywhere. So make sure that you're always in the cutting wheel. All right, make sure you lock your wheel, your left wheel, so it can rotate like this. It's a lot easier. Don't do it on a hill like I'm doing here. Level your machine up, rather it be going down because it's going to be a lot more stress on you. But the way I wanted to carve this this is the angle I had to go at it. The other thing was or is rather, the other things. Give me a second to process this. The torque. I think it pulls more to the left, but it cuts better to the right when you're turning it. You'll have to work on that yourself. Remember your teeth angle. So if you cut everything to the right and it works great, well then probably cutting to the left next time around will do even better. The teeth, I think you can if you had a large enough drill bit where the head was round, you could put another cup back inside these the cutting heads of this. I'm going to work on that. I've got some machine tools, so I'm going to see if I can find a bit that will allow me to cut into this and give it a new profile. See if I can make it a sharper cut for those tough parts. All right, let's go back to the video. Okay, guys, it died. I recharged it. But there's the artwork. That's what I was working on, just to try to see what it would look like. There's still plenty of rigid in the back. Just playing around. Let's go ahead and finish it off. Let's finish it off. I guess I should have given you a better shot at it. It was the two branches that came out of this in the back side. I thought they would look like a person and the arm sticking up. If you look at this thing a little bit, that's what I was hoping for. So again, right here is what I'm talking about. Look at the left side, how it's bumping the housing. And you start just getting fine chips, and then you realize, I'm riding the housing again. So riding to make sure that you have that clearance if you're playing around like I do. Chips. You want to make sure chips are coming out, not fine sawdust, or come out at a different angle. Literally come at the stump at a different angle. Maybe 15 degrees more, and then 15 degrees more, working your way around it until you start really getting chips flying off. In this case, I was still playing around. Oh, I had no option either. I dug a trench around here, the machine you saw in the background early in the video. I'm going to give you a much more fun shot of the camera real close in just a moment. Hey, I want to teach you guys a trick I do now already with the stump grinder. I use a power washer around it. In this case, I do not have to worry about it. If you're worried about dirt, or if you're worried about dirt or rocks, etc., use a power washer, let it dry out, and then come at it. it really does clean up the area around there, so you only get dirt. All right, you can see it's. I got to get you a better shot than that. Hold on. As you may see here, it looks like I'm wagging the tail to the right a little too fast. To the left, I've got that good cutting action. So maybe this would explain why I also think that. Now this is a new tool to me, so it's got a learning curve. The left cuts so much better that I think I'm just jumping back to cut to the left again because I enjoy the feedback. But maybe if I slow down and do a little more to the right, we'll see in future videos. If cutting to the right, and it just pulls to the right so much more smoothly. You see how it doesn't jump at all. That torque action is just so nice to the coming from the computer screen here from left to right. It would be me turning to the left. Just that's so nice. Oh, the other thing too is I do it like a curve cut. So I like curve cut sometimes in the tough part, and then break the curve with a side-to-side action. I think I was still experimenting with my look that I might have gone with, and I finally said forget it. So you see me curve cutting now. It's just plunge cutting, and since it was good, oh yeah, that's the other thing. Now I got to get pushed back on that piece. If it gives you good feedback, I don't jump away from that spot. I've used large stump grinders that don't care, but the smaller one, it does care how you use it. So if it's giving me good feedback, I run it down to the housing there. I'll take that feedback as I'll run with it. So in other words, cutting from the back side of this right now is working for me. I'm going to continue cutting it. Ultimately, we just need to get it ground down. In theory, you just use the front teeth, always cutting, and it's always climbing. Now it's working at the bottom. So it's got a little different torque action, a little less stress on me. It's not climbing. It's not trying to pull away. It's just like a nice axis, if you will. The learning curve is whatever you decide it is for you, how you like to climb or not. Did a couple curve cuts since it plunged. I let it plunge. Now let's go ahead and enjoy it for the next couple of minutes here and see what happens. Cutting. That's a hard part of that stump. You can hear it almost like this. If you hear it like that, it's just beating back and forth, moving out of the way of the blades. It's more stable the blades. You have to cut it. It starts moving out of the blades, way of the blades, way of the blades. Try the back side of it, the front side of it, different sides, change your RPMs. That's part of the stump. Thing is really working. It really, I'm very happy with it. It really is working. Nice job. Yeah, we gotta do that. Let's go 4 times speed, man. Okay, here we go at 4 times speed for a little fun. I think I'll end it out 4 times speed. Or maybe I'll back it down just to the last second to say good day, or it won't. Let's find out. It's only a couple of minutes left. So you'll see me doing the curve cuts here. That's in that darn part of that center of center of that part of the tree. It's pretty darn nasty. So I'm just using the weight of the vehicle to help me drive it. And saying goodbye. Take care, guys.